For Fabletics, are you guys going broad or targeted?
We mostly go broad,
Okay.
but we...
And are you mostly doing linear, or are you mostly or are you mostly doing OTT?
Yeah, it's a great question. So for a long time initially, we used to be in the upfronts, like years ago. And then we switched more to a heavier streaming spend. And then after we started testing with Tatari, which was about 2.5 years ago, we have now since been at about a 70-30 split. So 70% cable and broadcast and 30% streaming. We're trying to get to 60-40 just because streaming's growing, and also like the big five, Netflix, Disney, now have ads.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about getting into that.
And so the 70% that's streaming, that's linear TV, that's cable television and broadcast television. You don't have you have like targeting in terms of show, but you don't have targeting in terms of device where you're like, I want the, only women who are watching this. You're sort of just like, hey, this is Real Housewives, so I think it's mostly women. Is that correct?
That's probably that's probably the only lever we really use. Like on Hulu or something, we'll just do like run of sight female only or run of sight male for the men's line. The only time we've done like show targeting stuff is like Yellowstone marathons or like holiday specials during Christmas.
Yeah.
Things like that, or like sporting events.
So with linear TV, you're not buying you're not going to shows and being like, I want the commercial during this content. You're sort of saying, no, I'm going to take remnant inventory. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
and that's the benefit of like being with Tatari. Like we don't need to do those 10 million buys anymore.
Yeah.
You can actually get in at as low as 20K a week, which is a huge difference.
What's considered remnant? Is it like, is it just that it's not purchased at upfronts, or is it that this is a spot running tomorrow and I can buy it today?
It's a good question. So the best in it actually it's almost like a dirty word in advertising when you hear.
I feel like it's always just been like, as far as I know, what remnant is, it's just unbought inventory.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how far in advance that is.
So you have the upfronts, right? That's where most of your premium advertisers are pushing a lot of their budgets, and then after that is going to come something called like non-preemptible. This is where it's guaranteed inventory, but instead of booking out a super extended period of time, you're booking out for maybe a quarter or a month, right? You know exactly where that inventory is going to run. And then the sliver that's left is called remnant. And so this is inventory that publishers need to offload every week, right? And so as a result, it almost becomes, this bidding process between brands, agencies, et cetera. And it allows you to kind of game the system and get programs, like as she was saying, at much lower rates.
And is that generally cheaper? So I would imagine, like, let's say I'm watching, I'm going to use Law and Order because I don't know any other TV shows on. So let's say I'm watching, there's Law and Order. Someone has booked the upfront in Q3, which is sort of now. That's sold, 50% of the upfront was sold, 50% or like 25% of the, I think you called it guaranteed placement a month ago was sold. Or like let's say the Law and Order episodes in March. In February, the 25% is sold. There's 25% that's remnant during that show. Is that how it works? And then you're sort of bidding on it the week or the couple days beforehand through Tatari?
Typically the week. Yeah.
Okay. And then is the 25% you're bidding on way cheaper than the upfront? Because there's sort of like is it, here's really what I'm asking. There's two when you go to an airline and there's an unsold seat on an airplane last minute, they charge a lot more for it rather than a lot less. And you're like, I don't think this makes sense. I think you really want to fill that seat up. I thought it'd be cheaper, and they're like, no, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Here, I would imagine it's cheaper. Is that correct?
So the vast majority of the time, it is cheaper.
Okay.
There are certain instances where maybe demand creeps up as it gets closer to the show airing. And so maybe it would have been better to book in advance. So we'll recommend that in certain cases, but most of our brands are very digitally native, like Fabletics.
Yeah.
They don't want to be optimizing media once a month, once a quarter.
Sure.
Right.